course in the HTML tags and things that we have learned so far this year so that you can be successful building your mini HTML web page, which is a project we're currently working on. So when you open up lesson 4 part 3, you'll see kind of a blank workspace, and it says add HTML to your page that you sketched in your project guide. The project guide is the requirements that I have for this project, which means that you need to have at least 100 words. You need to include a header, a paragraph, and a list of some type on your page. And I'm going to show you how to do all of those things right now. All right, so just a quick review. This is your sort of workspace for your HTML web pages. On the right side, we have the preview. In the middle, we have where we actually put our code. On the left side, we have our file list, which we haven't used yet. Okay. Now I'm going to collapse these instructions to give myself more space. And I can move this little slider around, but I don't really need to. All right, so remember, whenever we're doing HTML, so far we've been doing all of our work within the body. And when I say body, I mean between these two body tags. Okay, so you don't need to worry about any of this other stuff here yet. All right, so everything's going to happen in here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create some white space by hitting the enter or the return button so that I have some more space to work. And I'm going to put in a header, and my header, the page that I'm going to make up is going to be about my favorite animals. So I'm going to start with my header tag, and when I make tags, I actually like to put both tags in right away. That way I know they're working. So my favorite animals. All right, so there we go. Now I've got a header, my favorite animals, right there. Okay, next I need to include a paragraph. So I'm going to do that, and you'll notice that when I put a new element in, and an element is just your content with your tags. So this whole thing right here would be an HTML element. Whenever I put in a new element, I actually skip a space, and this is just something that I like to do so that it's very clear which elements are separated so that you can debug and find mistakes really easily. So I'm going to put in a paragraph, and again, I like to put in both tags so that I don't mess it up. All right, and so yeah, I'm going to write something about this. So this website is about my animals and why I like them. I am a big fan of cats, but I also like dogs. All right, cool. So now I've got two requirements done. I've got a header and I've got a paragraph. Now I need to make a list of some sort. So I'm going to make a list. And the way that I like to make lists is very simple. I'm going to start off with let's do an unordered list. So that's UL. And I'm going to just put in the end tag there. And now what I need to do is actually separate these out a little bit. All right, so that I have white space between them. And here is where I can put the things that are going to be on the list. So you'll notice I'm working in between these unordered list tags when I'm building my list. So I'm going to just list the names of the animals that are in my house. And the way I do that is with the list item or line item tag, which is just LI. And you notice that as soon as I put both beginning and ending tag in, a little dot appears over here, which I can then fill with content. So I'll put my animals' names, Alice, she's a cat, and yeah, likes the sun. Ooh, wow, I can't type very well. Likes the sun and comfy places to sleep. Dislikes almost everything else. Okay. So there we go. I got one line item. So now I put my next line item. And you'll notice how, again, as soon as I finish these line item tags, a second bullet point appears. And I can go back and put in another item, dog. likes everything and everyone, especially snacks. Okay, I'll make a third list item. Francis, dog. More like a cat than a dog because he likes the sun and things, but doesn't get excited about much else. All right. Now I've got my list here, and I like to clean it up a little bit by removing some of these white spaces so that I've got my unordered list tags on the top, and then each item on the list is bound or has a beginning and ending tag there. But what would be really helpful is actually having sort of a title for this list. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a title with a heading tag, and I'm going to use like H4. That seems to be about right. And I'm going to put in a list of the animals that live with me. Okay, there we go. So now I've got a heading, a paragraph, another heading, so bonus points, and a type of list, which is this is an unordered list. If we made it a ordered list, we just switch the UL to OL, and that's going to change it from bullet points to numbers, and the numbers will correspond to the order in which things are appearing between these ordered list tags. But I don't think this needs to be an ordered list, so I'm going to change it back to UL, which stands for unordered list. There we go. All right. Now, I don't know if this is 100 words or not. I'm guessing it's not even close. It's probably like 50 or something. So your website should be a little bit longer, but then again, you should also take more than about 5 to 10 minutes to build your website. So you should take a little bit more time. Again, I don't care what your website has on it as long as it is school appropriate. And the way that I will be checking your work is just by going over here in my teacher panel and looking at what you've completed over here. Okay, there you go. If you want to work with a partner on this, that's absolutely fine with me. Just make sure that you have the pair programming set up and that you're both doing equal amounts of work, because if you're not doing the practice here, when we get to the next quiz, you're going to be out of luck because you won't know what's going on. So make sure you're practicing this. If you get stuck, let me know during class, or you can send me an email, and we can work together to make sure you can do this pretty well. All right, take care, everybody.